All right. What's going on? It's been a long time coming, right? I'm here at Sacred Snow. This is Uncover Creative Minds. My name's Felix, and we're going to dive into the creative process of Miss Snow here. How's it going? How you doing?
Good. Hello. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be chatting today.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
How's everything been? I mean, I can imagine it's been like, all the touring that you've been doing lately. Like, has it been like chaotic, but in like a beautiful way?
You pretty much hit it spot on.
Right.
It's been like a whirlwind, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because this has definitely been such an amazing journey. And having these opportunities to perform in different states and stuff like that and meet other people in other states that are vibing with my music and vibing to the same music that we all like. It's such a beautiful experience to be able to connect through the sound like that. Truly, I don't take it for granted ever.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You had your most recent shows that you've been playing at festivals and stuff. How was that? Was that like
Oh
a
my
really
God.
fun journey?
So fun. So fun.
Nice. That's so
Like
awesome.
moments that feel eternal, you know?
Hmm. And just connecting with the crowd and feeding off them understanding who you are as an individual and an artist. It's probably great for them as well to see an artist that is not only very good, but bringing that feminine vibe as well too, because we don't have too
Oh,
many
yeah.
of like really good talented um women in the industry, but every all
Not
the ones that
discovered yet.
yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like they're not discovered.
Exactly.
Right.
No, I love that. I love representing my females. I love my girls, like,
Yes.
all day.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna dive into some questions here. First one being, how did you begin music? Like, how did you come up with the idea of like, hey, I want to start making music? Like, where did that all begin for you?
Well, it's funny you say that because when I was telling my grandpa about all the things that I've been doing the past few months, he was like, "Well, you've pretty much been training your whole life for this." And I was like, "Wow, like honestly, you're right." Because since the moment I can remember, I've pretty much been on stages. I was in dance for years, and since I was younger, I took a natural liking to musical theater. So I really got into singing and dancing and acting more than anything. That
Mhm.
was like my life. I didn't play sports. I wasn't like an athletic kid, but I did love everything about performing arts. So with that kind of came music. And also having two parents who were just like deadheads and raised me on classic rock and stuff.
Mhm.
I just had like a natural draw towards music and I loved everything about it. So between the singing and eventually I started to play guitar, um, it was just something I've always been called to. And yeah,
Oh
it's
wow,
been
that's awesome.
part
That
of
was
my
actually
life.
my next question. If you played any instruments, that's so you do play guitar. That's awesome. What's
Yes.
your go-to, electric or acoustic?
I learned on electric and so I'm just now getting comfortable. Wait, did I just say electric?
Yeah.
No, I said I meant to say I learned on
Oh,
acoustic, but I'm
right,
just
right.
now getting comfortable on electric.
Nice.
But my grandpa taught himself by ear. So once my brother started playing back in the day, I was like, okay, I gotta start playing because it's just like in the family, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, but I'm just getting comfortable with the electric. I really like it though, and I'm trying to infuse it more into my electric productions. You know?
Right, right. Oh, that's really awesome. Yeah. I know for
Yeah.
electric, it's like easier to play, more smoother, and you could do like really good solos and stretch the strings up and down the neck, like and do so many different types of variations and with
Oh
the
my God.
pedals. Yeah.
Watching people like Jimi Hendrix, it just gets me so inspired. I'm just like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
like I want to be able to express myself like that, you know? So I
Oh,
definitely
that's
been
awesome.
working towards that. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing. That's awesome.
Aw,
It definitely
thanks.
helps with creative process too, right? When you're playing an instrument, compared to just making music on the computer. So I can imagine that creative process is like more physical when
It
you're
really does. Yeah, it
mhm.
opens different doors. I also enjoy things like using sound bowls, and I've been kind of getting into different like healing frequencies and
Mm,
bells and kind of infusing that in there because just
nice.
subtle healing frequencies
Oh
kind
yeah. The 432, of
of
course. Oh
if
yeah.
you know, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, shoot, it makes those patterns when you have the sand underneath, whatever those materials are, and you could see that it's actually making these fractal type imagery. So
And so
that's
that
happening
is like
inside of us.
the basis of a snowflake, right? It's like the
Oh, you're
geometric
right.
sacred pattern of nature
Mm,
and vibration. So that definitely has a lot to do with like why I chose that name and
mhm.
because it reflects that sacred pattern of sound and vibration for sure.
That's awesome. What motivates you to create music and create, basically anything? Like, what was your motivation as far as like artists that you listen to?
Honestly, when I first started making music, I feel like I was in a darker place. So it was a lot of like emotional,
Mhm.
like it was more of like an outlet for myself. But when it came down to it, I kind of had to sit down with myself and realize like what I wanted to share with the world. So it kind of took me in a different direction. And I started thinking about how I could change the world in a positive way through music. And that's what motivated me to steer this project in the direction that I've taken it and really try to bring people together through positivity and just light, you know?
Yeah, that's so great that you say that because I've noticed personally myself your song "Lost in Sound." I
Yeah.
can definitely tell that that is a very deep and emotional song, and the reason why I say that is because I feel it, and like I've actually had a few tears in my eyes because of how it
Oh my
sounds, and
gosh.
like the realm of like your voice. It's like I feel the journey of what you were going through, but like of course it always turns out the light at the end of the tunnel.
Always, always. That's what
Mhm.
it's all about. Just
Mhm.
having that hope and keeping that faith and not being afraid to get lost for a little while and coming
It's
back to find
yeah.
yourself.
Exactly. I feel like it's necessary as well because you're diving to different realms in the mind that is untouched, and we're constantly firing off our neurons in our brain to do, the more logical things in life, like, being smart, but to turn that off and be lost in sound, it's quite healing once you come back from that, because
Yes.
so that's why I really connected with that, and your
Oh,
vocals of course.
yes, that makes me really happy to hear because that's really why like I love to do this, to hear stuff like
Mhm.
that, to hear how because that's what music has always been for me. So it's truly an honor to be able to create.
Mhm.
It really is.
Right, it's almost like a huge collective sound of frequency that we're all just in tuned with and sharing. And
Hmm.
the people who do use music as an outlet to, help them with their life, they really, really appreciate. I can imagine every different artist that is out there making music, whether they're big or small, it's just the sound that is what matters.
Exactly.
Hmm.
It's a sound that brings us all together.
Right, exactly. So what kind of music do you listen to nowadays? Do you always listen to like electronic bass music, or do you like different like bands, jam bands, indie bands, stuff like that?
So that's the funny part. I actually listen to a lot of um, classic rock and
Mm,
hip hop, and I don't really uh, limit myself when it comes to music because I love all of it so much. I can't help
mm-hmm,
it. It's just being
mm-hmm.
exposed to a lot of different types of it too, going to different live shows. It There's a time and a place for all different types of music. I feel so. Yeah,
Right.
I be
Fits the
jamming like the
setting.
Grateful Dead. I
Yes.
love just like yeah, my parents named me after them, so I just I was literally raised on them. They were deadheads and
Nice.
so but seeing that culture, seeing how music could like bring people together in such a positive way, like artists like that just inspire me so fucking much,
Hmm.
honestly.
Oh yeah, that's the mission, right? To just bring people together to enjoy the sound, enjoy the music, connect,
Yeah,
share art. Everyone's winning.
Oh
everyone's
yeah.
sharing their art, and what they do, and it's a very genuine feeling,
And there's
walking
so much that
around.
could come from that too. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
there's nothing better than being there.
Oh yeah, and connecting with others as well.
Mhm.
Um, so when you make music, have you ever gone through like writer's block? Like how do you ever gotten through like, the writer's block where like you just can't, you know, make tunes one day because it's just you're like, yeah, I can't work on it. Like, how do you get through that?
It's tough. I feel like a lot of the times where I've found myself stuck in my artistry and just trying to get creative, it's because I need to look at it from a different perspective. It's usually a
Hmm.
sign that, it's time to either like expand the toolkit or look at things, take a shift, take a shift of how you're doing things, try something new.
Hmm.
So that's usually how I get through those. But yeah, that's really common for me, honestly. Like
Hmm.
just life happens and it's if you wake up inspired every single day, like good for you because
Right.
you know it's a lot it's a lot of energy to pour yourself
Right.
into that every single day. So whether you're working on like
Hmm.
different techniques and stuff, that's a different story. But when it comes down to like storytelling, I feel like as soon as I come out of like a breakthrough, I have time to sit down with myself or something like that, like some big moment will happen in my life, and then
Hmm.
that's when stuff really just starts pouring out of me, and like I don't
Hmm.
feel like any distractions or anything.
The flow state, yes.
Exactly, the
Hmm.
flow state, that's
Hmm.
exactly what it is.
Nice. That's really good. Yeah, because I can imagine for creative people, they're not always creating, but they're always learning. If they have to go in and learn some sound design or go in and practice mixing or practice doing this, that, and the other
Hmm.
thing, and then come back to the creative process, that's when they can probably get through some writer's block.
Yeah.
And to add to that, to that question too, do you think exercising and meditation is important for creating music? And creating any art, and being like healthy and stretching, exercising the mind, the body when it needs to be,
Huge, 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 huge.
drinking
This
lots of
is
water.
something that I love to preach and I love to promote. I love like just seeing healthy lifestyles because, I mean, being a DJ in the party scene, we can get caught up in different things. And when it comes down to it, if you're not keeping a steady, healthy balance and
Hmm.
routine of your body and your mind, you're going to get scrambled sooner or later. And it's a
Hmm.
lot easier to fall down and let your health decline than it is to bring it back up.
Right. Hmm.
And that's kind of really what I've realized going through the past few years of being in different environments, you know, trying
Hmm.
new things. And it really comes down to treating yourself respectfully, like
Hmm.
respecting your body, respecting your temple, because that's a
Hmm.
huge part of it. I've noticed anytime that I'm like not getting enough sleep, even, oh my God, I feel like I'm unable to even think.
Oh
So how am
yeah.
I supposed to sit down and write a song if I
Yeah.
can't
If
even
you're
like
groggy, yeah.
form a
Exactly.
sentence? I'm like can't even remember what I
Hmm.
did, you
Right.
know? And yeah, that's a huge part of it. Your mind and your
Hmm.
body got to be in alignment. I believe that
That's good.
100%.
So when you're like on tour as well, like when you do go to shows, because I've noticed there's certain artists that are, I mean, when I say this in a nice way. They're crazy in a sense where they'll play a show and then right after the show they're on their laptop and making music because they just got a creative process. Do you ever do that, like where you're touring, playing music, and then you get creative out of nowhere and then you just start writing stuff down and get like an idea out? Like, have you ever done that?
Yes. Yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, so that's good.
I think traveling and stuff and being in new environments is also like a huge inspiration because that can help you like get out of your stagnant mind and
Mm,
like you see new things, you're surrounded by new
right.
things, and
Right, because your new
Definitely.
environment. Yep.
And then especially being at shows and seeing other artists and like just seeing other people being inspired.
Hmm.
It's never ending. I'll have thoughts and ideas for songs like in the shower and I'm like, oh my God, like if I don't get out right now and write this down, like I'm gonna like lose it. And
Yeah,
so
right. It just comes out
yeah,
of nowhere.
out of nowhere sometimes. But you have to, those are usually the ones that you gotta just follow, you know?
Oh yeah, because it's in your brain. It's something like it's so strange. You ever feel like it's a song that's already there and you're just kind of putting it together because it's already in your head. So you're kind of like building it from that, and then it just blossoms into some magical idea that just kind of
Totally.
came out of nowhere. Because if the sounds are already there, they're all in our mind and in, the sounds of the computer, then it's kind of like already there. We're just kind of
We're
puzzling
just
together.
translators at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
right. Putting the
Yeah.
frequencies together. So that's probably why it's a good idea to get those ideas as quick as possible when you do have them
Yes.
channeling in your thought process.
Yeah, for sure. Love
Nice.
that.
Awesome. So what else do you do other than music? Do you do like any kind of other activities, or like what else do you like to do on like free time other than music?
So when it comes to like my daily routine, I like to do a lot of yoga. I'm a huge like I love cooking and I love being in the kitchen. I love like healthy foods. So I'm usually like always on that, having my smoothie and stuff. But like
Nice.
free time wise, besides music, I'm like out, I love to just be out in nature. I like to just hang out with my friends and my family.
Hmm.
I like good quality time with my like community. If there's ever like a cool event going on, like we have so many local kava bars and stuff like that where I live and flow nights and stuff. So I love doing stuff like that and getting out there and like vibing with like minds, you know?
Oh, that's awesome. Where exactly is that?
So I'm in St. Pete, Florida.
Oh, I love St. Pete. I've been there so many times, and because I have some friends that live there, and it's like there's endless things to do. Like you could literally do something different every day in a different
For
area, and it's
real.
like a different vibe, and it's beautiful. And there's so many food restaurants and strips of
Yes,
like
yes.
businesses that are all. It looks like they're all thriving there, so it's really good to see that.
Yeah, the cool part about where I live is it's a lot of small businesses. So the
Mm,
community really is built on that and built on like entrepreneurship. So there's not a lot of chain restaurants or huge corporations. So I really like to get out
hmm.
there and support the local community as much as I can. That's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
much what
awesome.
I'm doing usually.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Um, what excites you in life? Like, what brings joy and happiness to you? Like, what is an instance where like you have an exciting moment?
Hmm. Well, when it comes down to it at the end of the day, like I love I love experiencing beautiful moments. I love seeing nature and I love traveling. I love being in front of live music. But what really drives me and what I'm really excited to be here to be able to manifest is change within this world. And I want to eventually like figure out a way to really create a big ripple of change within our system and help end the suffering because we have such a surplus of goods and resources that I just don't feel like the world should be in the state that it is. So like I'm truly excited to use like whatever power I possess to be able to use my life to help change that, whether it be like directly hands-on, starting a business here in my local community to help homeless people, you know, get back on their feet,
Hmm.
provide local fresh foods through a community garden. It's always been like a dream of mine, or going to other foreign countries and helping out over there. You know, it's just, it's
Hmm.
all about, it's all about just giving back to the world. I feel like that's what
Hmm.
excites me at the end of the day.
That's awesome. So like basically your mission statement is do make your music, get substantial amount of income, and then give back to communities and push your message through your sound and your voice, and and then work on you know, the local community
That's the
to
dream right
improve.
there.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And like to be able to do that synchronistically too. And like,
Hmm.
yeah, 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 yeah. That would be that'd be amazing. I feel like
Nice.
already going in the right direction with like music so far with the people that I've been able to connect with.
Hmm.
It's been so beautiful. And I've also met a lot of people with similar goals and people that want to do similar things, you know? So
That's
that's the
always
beautiful
good.
part about it. Hmm.
Yeah, surrounding yourself with people who not only see the mission but are pushing the mission as well, and then pushing their own mission too. So it's kind of like everyone full force moving toward a similar direction in different ways to bring positive energy to the
Yes.
world.
Yes.
Hmm.
Oh,
So
I
where
love it.
so where do you see yourself in 5 years from like this point now?
5 years. Well, hopefully I'll be able to do some of the things I just mentioned, but
Hmm.
I don't know. I'd love to be able to travel more, play
Hmm.
more festivals, and connect with more artists, collaborate with more artists that
Hmm.
I've been inspired by, and hopefully just come together to be able to create art.
Hmm. Is there a
Yeah.
place that you would want to play the most that's kind of like a really big opportunity, and just somewhere where you would love to play? Like where would that be? A festival or venue wise?
I would truly love to play Red Rocks. I know that's like such a beautiful venue, and
Mhm.
I personally have only been to one show there, but it was so special to me because I went with my dad and I went with one of my best friends and my brother, and it was magical. We went and saw String Cheese Incident, and it was
Wow.
just such a cool experience. And after that, after seeing that venue and then watching a lot of artists that I love, like Zed, and
Oh
people
yeah.
like that. They've been killing it lately at Red Rocks and just seeing that.
Mhm.
So that's a huge like goal venue for sure. But
Nice. Definitely something on the bucket list to be able to experience, right?
it would be really cool like playing over in Japan because that I've always wanted to visit over there. So
Oh
that would
wow.
also be like a huge goal,
Yeah,
future goal.
I wonder how their venues are over there. I've never dived into the ones that are out of the country. I know they have a lot of psytrance type festivals in some countries, which I'd love to go to one day.
Oh my God. Yes, like in South America, I've heard are
Hmm.
beautiful festivals. The list goes on. Like,
Hmm. Envision, the one over there in was it Costa Rica, I believe.
yes,
That
yes.
one seems like a very amazing uh, experience for sure.
Would love to play Envision.
Hmm.
I would love to go to Envision
Hmm.
just for the
Right.
experience.
Well, that's awesome. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
What if for someone who listens to your music and gets inspired by it, and maybe they're on the fence and they don't know if they should do music or whatever, but they're getting a feeling of it, what would you say to that person? Like what would you recommend to that individual who wants to start creating art, and you know they see what you're doing and they want to push something of their own?
My biggest piece of advice, probably that I've been able to take away from all this, that I really feel like has impacted me personally too. Because you gotta practice what you preach.
Hmm.
I I think it's most important to not get caught up in what everyone else is doing, and a lot it could be easier said than done sometimes because you don't realize it, but the more that you look outside of yourself and you look at all these inspiring artists, you might start to feel like this sense of pressure, or like you might start to self compare yourself to these people, but in reality that's just restricting your own creative process because you're put here to do something that no one else has done before. So when it comes down to it, really dig deep within yourself to think about what influences have made you who you are and what you want to push to people, for sure.
Awesome. Amazing. Yeah, really good advice there. Um, I can imagine for people who are even artists in the scene, they do get caught up in, comparison, or, they say, oh, well, maybe I'm not good enough or this or that. But in
Or
my
maybe I should try what they're doing or like stuff
right,
like yeah, like
yeah. But
nah.
honestly, in my mind, and what I have always believed in, everyone's music is beautiful regardless of what it sounds like, because it's a piece of your soul that you have created, and it's your individuality. So that's what's beautiful about it, without having that stigma of, I don't like this type of genre or whatever.
Oh
It's art
yeah.
at the end of the day, and it's what you created, so that's what matters the most.
And
And
it's
then
all
you work on
subjective.
it. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's all subjective. There's no right or wrong. It's literally a, you know
Just an expression, and
expression. Exactly.
I
Yeah.
love
So
that though. That's definitely what makes it beautiful for sure. Just that the
yeah.
fact that it's a
Hmm.
piece of you
Hmm. So what is
manifested. Mhm.
what's a an important life lesson you have learned over the years?
Hmm. Life lesson. I think a lot of I don't know. That's a big question because I've learned a lot. I've learned a
Hmm.
lot and I feel like I've grown a lot over the past few years. I feel like I'm a totally different person than when I even
Hmm.
started out this project a few years ago. But that's just how it be.
Hmm. Do you think
um,
maybe a life lesson would be to just continue to learn, evolve, and not, um, basically forgive yourself for things that you have made mistakes on? Because, statistically, we can't make 100% correct decisions in our life all the time, because we can't tell the fortune of our life, one step at a time. So maybe just having an open mind to different possibilities, and being happy whether you make a wrong decision or a bad decision, because you're learning from it.
yeah, that's a really, really big lesson right there.
Hmm.
Because if you don't learn to forgive yourself, then there's no room for you to grow and actually like become better from that place. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's a huge one. That's a huge one for sure. And that's something I've had to go through.
Hmm.
Another thing that I've had to really learn, like a probably like one of my most important life lessons so far, is don't depend on anyone.
Hmm.
You you have friends and you have family, and it's good to know that those people will always be there unconditionally, but only you are gonna do what you need, what you were put here to do at the end of the day. No one is gonna tell you like this is exactly what you should be doing. And it
Hmm.
could be hard. It could be hard as an artist too. I know a lot of artists, families get worried because they're like, how are you gonna support yourself?
Hmm.
And you have to follow your instinct and
Hmm.
you got to learn how to rely on yourself
Hmm.
for that motivation and for that push. Because if you're the only one waking up in the morning, you got to stare at yourself in the mirror and you got to say, I can do this because I know that I can. And I know that I'm put here to do it.
Hmm.
And that's why I'm doing it.
Exactly. You think
Hmm.
it's definitely a lot of there's different ways to make, a good amount of income in the music industry nowadays, with, utilizing all the different streaming platforms to maximize income for your music, and selling merchandise, and,
Oh, yeah.
doing nonprofit organization stuff, and, you know or just getting simple donations, but putting in the effort to, like, be able to show that is important.
It is. It is for sure.
Mhm. Nice, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Real quick, I wanted to talk about your latest EP that dropped 4 days ago, and I just wanna say that is probably one of my favorite EPs right now, just because of how
Oh,
it just sounds
thank you so
very
much.
unique. It's very unique, it's very deep and emotional, and,
Yeah.
I connect with the sound that you and, Jeff Fufu had made. So if you want to talk about that EP and that collaboration, I would love to dive in and see how that creative process went for, those tracks.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about it. It
Hmm.
was it was a really fun project to make, and the way it came together was really cool because we actually wrote the last song on it in 2019, which was like 2 years ago now.
Wow.
And we've just been like fine tweaking and fine tuning that one. But we didn't really know what to do with it. We didn't really want to put it out as a single, and but we loved it a lot. So
Hmm.
if anyone has been seeing us over the past couple years, they might have seen us playing out that song. But
Mm.
it was this year when we sat down, we were like, okay, let's see what else we could do. And that's pretty much where the whole EP came from, us sitting down and trying to create something that was ethereal and different, because I'm really inspired by a lot of the sounds, like the kind of like the synthwave style of the 80s.
Hmm.
And so that's we infused a lot of that into there, and you could probably hear that. And
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
very familiar sound that it has, but I couldn't very pinpoint what it was. It just sounded like I was in a soundscape of like definitely like a little bit older sounds, but new age. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it
exactly.
just had like an older realm to it, but brought
Yeah.
back to the new age.
Yeah, that's definitely what we were going for. Kind of like
Hmm.
the throwing the concept in there of like old school, new school, and like
Hmm.
seeing where you can go in the dream world, because we called it sleep wake for a reason. We were thinking when we go to sleep, we wake up in a whole different reality, and in that reality we have the possibility to like travel through time. So creating like a song to kind of like create that experience just through sounds, we definitely used a lot of dreamy, ethereal
Hmm.
vibes. And yeah, it was such a beautiful process, honestly.
Yeah, I can definitely tell that there was a lot of time spent into creating these tracks because they just seemed very like you know there's nothing more to do. They're just very done. You know what I mean? Like the
No,
track is so done, and it just seemed
that
perfect, like a perfect track. You know, all three of them. They're just the sounds are amazing from my experience.
thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. That makes me so happy to hear. All the
Hmm.
good feedback so far is just like filling my heart. Like
Hmm.
just hearing it do what it needs to do is just, it
Right.
just makes me so happy.
Yeah, and the artwork is very nice. I like the artwork that you have done.
Oh yeah, shout out my girl Madison. She
Yes,
kills it. Mad
always,
Richie. Oh my
always.
god. She
Nice.
definitely killed that cover. I'm so happy
Mhm.
with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did a really good job. So I just wanted to touch base on you do sell merch, right? And you do have things where people can buy and check out
Yes.
your music and all that. If you want to explain a little bit about that, where people can find like your merchandise and things that you sell to support your music.
Yes. So I just dropped my first merch line. It's a collaboration with Bad Alien Apparel. My girl Taylor, she hand screen printed every single piece in this collection. We got bucket hats, crop tops, biker shorts, basketball shorts, t-shirts, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. It's all reflective ink. It's called the
Hmm.
Reflective Flow Collection. So if you're interested in buying any of that and checking it out and supporting the vision, it is, you can find it at sacredsnowmusic.com, and it'll take you right to the shop, and you can check it out there. But other than that, you could find me on Instagram at Sacred Snow Music. My Facebook page is Sacred Snow Music. And I just created a private Facebook group for exclusive previews of tracks that I'm working on and giveaways and other fun things. So if you
Hmm.
want to join that, it's Sacred Snow Angels. So yeah, you could find me there.
Awesome. And to that note, to everyone who is still tuned in, I want to do something very special and kind of give back to the fans. I want to go ahead and do a giveaway with your merchandise. I'll take care of the expenses, but I want to do this giveaway for the fans, and if that's something you want to
That's That's beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
I'd
do
like to do
it.
that. Yeah, so we could do like a poll. We'll run a poll for it. Um, the only things I would request is that I want the individuals to check out Sacred Snow's music and pick your favorite song that you connect with out of it, and then just give me a little reason why you like it, and then just follow, the SoundCloud pages and Spotify accounts.
Beautiful. Yes. That
Hmm.
sounds great.
Awesome. So we'll get that set up in the near future.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, it's been an awesome chatting with you. I'm so thankful for you to do this with me. I'm so proud of you and happy for your mission and what you're doing. And you're doing great. You're pushing huge waves in the scene, and I can only see in the future you doing
Uh,
much more.
Thank you so much. It
Hmm.
means the world. It really does to be able to
Hmm.
do this. And yeah, I'm so glad that we had got to sit down and that you're creating this platform for artists to be able to share their minds, because I think it's
Hmm.
a really important for people to like see like what goes into it on the other side, you know?
Hmm. Exactly. That's my passion with this. Just I want
Yeah,
people to share their voice and speak on behalf of their music and what their mission is behind the music. Because some people might not know what people's intentions are, whether it's good or bad. And I think for the local artists to help them express more, they can speak on behalf of it, and then we can all you know we can find new artists that way as
absolutely.
well.
Absolutely.
Hmm. Well, awesome. Thank you so much. This has been an amazing time. I'm here with Sacred Snow, Uncover Creative Minds, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care, everyone.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. All right, no
Much
problem.
love.
I don't wanna go back to reality. I'm safe right here away from the 3D. And I don't like when the people look at me, or when they look at me. I forget to breathe in my own space and let it flow slowly. All my energy is dozing, and I can't tell which part of me is still here on the ground. Maybe I just left, maybe I just floated away into my head. And now I'm dreaming of flowing. Dream of flow, dream of flow, dream of flow, and I let